Okay, so for our last Dev 2 for this class. Now, for this class, I mean both my JavaScript class and my Python class are on the same schedule as far as the last week of the semester. So just to be clear, and I'm about to go and look at the dates that I have for you to sign up for your code review. Code reviews are required. If you don't do them, you're automatically discounted 50%. So, don't put yourself into that situation. The other thing is, and I will say this before I jump in and look at the dates, is that do know that there in Canvas is a way to answer that age old question of what do I need to do to pass your class or get a particular grade in your class. Not sure why that's not opening in a new window, but we'll come back. There we go. So as an example, and again, it wouldn't matter which one I went into for our purposes of discussion, but if I switch to the student view, okay, now I'm saying this just because I want you to understand this, okay? When you in your grade view, and I think I've mentioned this in both classes, but it is worth mentioning it again. You can come through. Now, this obviously is not anyone's grade, but it is just demonstrating the idea of what you have in there is that you can put, right? Because I do allow you to submit late work with discounts, right? So you can do this for all previous work. Now, what I mean by that is if you have work that you're going to be submitting that is late, I do accept late work. I do discount it. A couple weeks back, I did give an option if you did attendance to get even a few more points back. So do know that, we are at that point in the semester where you have to plan well for not only um, catching up, meaning work that is going to be submitted late, but also future work. So this idea of being able to put in, right, scores can also be applied to future items, and including the most important one here, which is your Dev 2. Because you may wonder, what do I need to achieve on my Dev 2 to get the grade that I want to get? Now, hopefully that's not your only motivator, but I understand the motivation of a grade here as well. So you can answer that question for yourself by putting in these scores, rolling up to the top, and looking at what this grade would be. Okay. And again, it'll notify you saying, hey, you're looking at a what if scenario. So if you want to revert back to actual, you can do that as well. So just make use of that to answer those questions. Okay. Okay. So again, both classes, the JavaScript class and the Python class, is the same as far as the end schedule. Now, here's the other thing about this, and let me come back to calendar before I move on. Because of the end of semester timeline, there's no after the due date code reviews, okay? So code reviews I'm offering up starting at Wednesday before, all the way through, in fact, Wednesday and the Wednesday the 2nd and the 9th are my evening ones, the ones that are, I feel, most popular for students, but I see students throughout the day, so that's doesn't always apply as well. But I want you to know that my last code review, and let me just flip over real quick and show you. So it starts on Wednesday, runs of December 2nd, runs Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. Now at this point, we're into finals week. Okay. This is finals week. So all the way through. And then the last one is is offered right here on Thursday at 1:30 to 2. Okay. So you might wonder then, why is this due at midnight? Okay. Well, there'll be some of you that come see me before the actual close to the due date. and you can change anything that we may have found or I have found in your code. So you can resubmit that up until midnight of the 10th. And then the next morning, I will get up for both classes, put in anyone that hasn't done a code review. And again, you could do this for yourself to answer the what will I get in there. Okay. So I just want you to know that even though the Dev 2 is at midnight, it's really when I wake up the next morning. But the key is understanding the code review schedule. Okay. Now, one question I may get here is, do you offer Thursday evening um, code reviews? And as of right now, I do not. So make sure you're planning yourself accordingly. And really what this means is that even though this is the due date, right? You need to have it done before then so that you can get yourself into a code review situation. Now, if you have a compelling reason for what, it's not a usual, it's just that you had something that inhibited you to do that sooner, you can talk to me and I will handle that on a case by case basis. But in general, the reason I offer these is for two purposes, so that you understand when I'm scheduled. You can again schedule yourself for a review or an assistance, put your name on there. This is more than enough sessions to handle all the students that need a code review. And I've typically noted that some of the early ones don't get booked, but the later ones do. And I've had a couple of students ask me, which is why I'm releasing this before we go into the Thanksgiving holiday so students can again plan themselves. Now, the last thing I want to say here is something that happened in Dev 1 is when you put your name on one for assistance or review, know that I'm asking you to commit to that, because if you change that, somebody may come in here before you drop that session, or you say, I'm going to try to do it later, but just be conscious. Here's what I would say. Please be aware that when you sign up for a session, make a commitment that you're going to make that. That way we don't have a situation where you end up saying, you know what, I'm not ready yet. I'm going to try to go later, but here's what's going to happen is these are going to fill up pretty quickly. So plan accordingly. Anyway, I'd just like to say thank you all very much for a great semester. I've really enjoyed the semester and getting to know you all. The code reviews are really an important part for me. And, if you feel so motivated, I would love for you to use Rate Your Professor to give feedback to students just looking for classes. I appreciate that. Anyway, have a great one, and I will talk to you soon.